Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
Can I ask you something personal? When was the last time you said no to someone in your family and actually felt okay about it? Not guilty. Not anxious. Not replaying the moment at 2 a.m, wondering if you were too harsh, too selfish, too cold. Just okay. If you are struggling to remember that moment, or if you cannot remember it at all, I want you to know something important. You are not alone, and you are not broken. There is a reason setting boundaries with family feels so different from setting them anywhere else. There is a reason you can hold firm at work, speak clearly with strangers, advocate for your friends, but the moment someone in your family looks at you with disappointment, something inside you crumbles. That reason has a name, and once you understand it, everything changes. So stay with me, because what I am about to share with you is not just advice. It is a mirror. And I think when you look into it, you are going to finally see yourself clearly. You have spent decades being the strong one, the one who held it together when everything fell apart, the one who showed up at funerals, at celebrations, at 3 a.m. crises, no matter what you were carrying yourself. The one who said yes when every bone in your body was exhausted, because saying no felt like a betrayal of everything you were raised to be. You were taught that love means sacrifice, that family comes first, that a good woman, a good mother, a good daughter, a good sister, bends herself to fit the shape of what everyone else needs. And you did that. For years. Maybe for most of your life. But here you are now. Maybe your children are grown and still calling with demands that feel more like entitlement than connection. Maybe you have a sibling who takes and never once asks how you are doing. Maybe there is a parent, even at their age, who still knows exactly which words to use to make you feel like a child again. And you are tired. Not tired of loving them. You could never be tired of that. But tired of disappearing inside that love. Tired of shrinking. Tired of the guilt that follows you everywhere the moment you try to take up a little space for yourself. That exhaustion you are feeling, that is wisdom knocking. It is your soul saying something has to change. And I am here to tell you, it can. Here is the first thing you need to understand about guilt. When it comes to family, it is not a moral compass. It is a learned reflex. When we are children, we learn very quickly what keeps the people around us happy. We learn which behaviors get us warmth, approval, love, and which ones bring silence, disappointment, or anger. And because children are wired for connection above almost everything else, we adapt. We shape ourselves into whoever we need to be to keep the peace. Psychologists call this adaptive behavior. The rest of us call it survival. So when you grew up in a family where your needs were secondary, where asking for something felt risky, where setting a limit felt selfish, your nervous system learned a very clear lesson: putting yourself first is dangerous. Now, decades later, even when you are a grown woman with hard-won wisdom and a full life behind you, that old wiring is still there. The moment you try to say no, your body sounds the alarm, your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and your brain whispers you are a bad person for doing this. But here is the truth. That guilt is not telling you that you did something wrong. It is telling you that you are doing something new. There is a difference. And learning to hear that difference is the beginning of everything. I think we have a problem with the word boundary. When most people hear it, they picture coldness, distance, a door slammed shut. They think setting a boundary means ending a relationship or announcing that someone has failed you. But that is not what a boundary is. A boundary is simply a statement about what you can offer and what you cannot. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a garden. You have tended it with love and care for years. Now imagine someone keeps walking through it, trampling the flowers you planted, taking fruit without asking, leaving gates open so the work you have done slowly unravels. You would not bulldoze the garden in response. You would put up a low fence, Not to keep people out forever, but to protect what matters: your energy, your time, your emotional well-being. These are your garden. A boundary is the fence that says, I love you, and I want a relationship with you. But I cannot let you keep walking through here like this. Brené Brown has spent years studying what makes human relationships healthy and sustainable. And one of her most important findings is this: boundaries are not a threat to connection. They are what makes genuine connection possible. Because when you never say no, your yes starts to mean nothing. When you show up out of obligation rather than genuine love, people feel it, even if they do not say so. And when you are hollow with resentment, you cannot truly be present for anyone. A real relationship, one built on honesty and mutual care, requires two people who can tell the truth about what they need. That includes you. Here is something that may surprise you. When you start setting boundaries with family, things often get worse before they get better. Not because you are doing it wrong, but because family systems function like ecosystems. Every person in the family has a role. And when one person starts behaving differently, starts saying no, starts taking up space, starts expecting to be treated with respect, the rest of the system feels that shift, and systems resist change. So what happens? You say no to something you would normally say yes to, and suddenly there is drama. Someone is upset. Someone else calls to check in and gently suggests that you are being difficult. Maybe there is silence, the cold, loaded kind that makes you feel like a criminal for simply having a limit. This is called a change-back response. Therapists see it all the time. It is the system's way of trying to pull you back into the old role. Think about it like a mobile. Those hanging decorations with little figures suspended on strings. When one piece moves, all the others shift. The mobile swings and sways until it finds a new equilibrium. Your family is that mobile. When you change, when you grow, when you set a limit, when you stop absorbing everyone else's emotions, the whole thing moves. And for a while, it is uncomfortable for everyone. But here is what you need to hold on to. The discomfort is not proof that you are wrong. It is proof that something real is shifting. Stay steady. The mobile will find its balance again. And when it does, it will be a truer, healthier one. This one goes deep. So I want to say it slowly. You are not responsible for how other people feel when you take care of yourself. I know that goes against everything you were taught. I know that for many of you, managing other people's emotions has been a full-time job since childhood. Maybe you grew up walking on eggshells. Maybe your love was conditional on keeping someone else calm. Maybe you learned that it was your job, your sacred duty, to make sure no one in the room was unhappy. But let me ask you something. Who was doing that job for you? No one is responsible for your emotional life but you. And no one is responsible for theirs but them. When you say no to an unreasonable demand and your adult child responds with anger, that anger is not your fault. You did not cause it. You are not obligated to fix it. Their feelings belong to them. Now, this does not mean you are cruel. It does not mean you do not care. Of course you care. That is never the question. The question is whether caring for someone means you must constantly override your own needs to manage their feelings. It does not. You can love someone deeply and still say, I cannot do this right now. You can love someone deeply and still say, that does not work for me. You can love someone deeply and still say, I hear that you are upset, and I am not going to change my answer. That is not hardness. That is health. Many women tell me they are afraid of how they will sound if they start setting limits. They imagine themselves being sharp, cold, clinical, like someone reading from a rule book. But boundaries said with love do not sound like that at all. They sound like, I love you, and I am not able to take that phone call every night anymore. I need some evenings to rest. Can we plan a call twice a week instead? I want to be at the holiday dinner, and I am going to need to leave by 3 p.m. I hope you can understand that. I can hear that you are frustrated with me. I am sorry this is painful for you. And my answer is still no. Did you notice something in each of those? The love comes first. The clarity comes second. There is no apology for having the limit. There is warmth. Real, genuine warmth. But it does not come at the cost of honesty. You do not have to choose between being kind and being clear. The most loving thing you can do, for yourself and for the people you love, is to tell the truth about what you can and cannot give. Because when you are truthful about your limits, you give the other person the gift of reality. You let the relationship exist on honest ground. And relationships built on honesty, even imperfect ones, are far more durable than those built on one person perpetually pretending to be fine. I want to take a moment and just sit with you here. Because I know this work is not easy. I know that everything we have talked about today sounds simple in theory and feels enormous in practice. I know that the family dinner is coming up, and the phone calls are already stressing you out, and somewhere in the back of your mind there is still that voice saying, "Who do you think you are?" So let me answer that question. You are a woman who has given everything she had for most of her life to the people she loves. And that giving came from something real and beautiful in you, a deep capacity for love and care that the world genuinely needs. But you are also a woman who deserves to receive what she gives. You deserve to be asked how you are. You deserve evenings that are quiet. You deserve to say no without an explanation and yes without resentment. You deserve relationships that feel like two people showing up, not one person endlessly carrying the other. Setting boundaries does not make you selfish. It makes you sustainable. It means you have finally understood something that took courage to learn, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. That loving someone does not require losing yourself. That the most honest gift you can give to the people you love is a version of yourself that is whole. You have spent so many years making sure everyone else was okay. This is the season to make sure that you are okay too, not instead of them, alongside them. Both things can be true at once. And if someone in your family cannot accept the real, boundaried, honest version of you, that is painful. But it is also information, because the love that requires your silence and your sacrifice to survive, that is not the love you deserve. You deserve the love that sees you and stays, that hears your no and respects it, that grows alongside you rather than demanding you stay small. That love exists, and it starts with the love you give yourself. Before you go today, I want to ask you to do one small thing. If something in this video touched you, if you heard yourself in any of these words, would you write 3 words in the comments below? I am reclaiming my peace, just those 4 words. That is all. Because I read every single comment. And when I see those words, I know that something shifted for you today. And that matters more to me than anything else. You can also share this video with a woman in your life who needs to hear it. The sister who is exhausted. The friend who always says yes. The mother who has forgotten that she is allowed to have needs too. If you are new here, please subscribe, because every week we come back to this space and we do this work together. Real conversations about real emotional challenges. No fluff. No quick fixes. Just honesty and the kind of wisdom that comes from living a full life. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You are worth that.